What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the week's hottest topics. This is the week of February 28th through March the 5th. Wow, we're 3 months into the year. Time really does fly, doesn't it? And it flies even more when we're at home all day. All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and talk about what's trending and hot this week. All right, guys. So the first thing that I want to talk about is a little bit of stuff in politics. Gotta talk about it. Definitely this first story. Gotta talk about it. Interesting week has been, especially if you guys live in Texas. If you guys live in Texas, you know that Governor Hot Wheels, Governor Match Car, whatever you want to call him, the paraplegic, whatever you want to call him, because I'm not calling him by his name. Whatever you want to call the man. I know somebody on Rox's IG said they call him Governor Papa Wheelie. Funny, really funny. But yeah, if you guys are not familiar with what's going on here in Texas, so I think it was. Let me get the date. I want to be 100% correct with you guys, because I know when this ends. So I believe it's either happened Tuesday or Wednesday. It was Tuesday, because this past Wednesday is going to be now it's coming closer. It's 5 days away. So Tuesday or Wednesday, but I think it was Tuesday, our governor, Papa Wheelie, match car driver, Tonka truck, whatever you want to call the man. The list can go on and on and on, because he's in a wheelchair. So those are the running jokes about him. He did a broadcast throughout the whole state, and he let everyone know that effective, I think it is, Wednesday, March 10th, 2021, the mask mandate is officially lifted here in Texas, which is ridiculous to me. It just makes no sense to me why you would lift the mask mandate. But I mean, honestly, I know why he's lifting the mask mandate. He's trying to diffuse the situation that happened here, now 2 weeks ago with the snow, the power, the water pipes that have burst around here. And I know people to this day, are still probably without water. Like I know, up until just a few days ago, the plumbers were at my apartment complex. They were still out here up until I think the plumbers stopped. I think the plumbers officially finished at my apartment complex on either Sunday or Monday. I can't remember what day it was. But even still, they left a whole bunch of mess behind, like in my hallway going down the stairs. There are two big ass holes in the wall from the pipes. And then they had the installation on the ground. They just cleaned the installation up last night. So for the last few days, I've been walking over installation, which it looks so nasty. But that's that. Like I know one apartment downstairs, I saw them had to take their wash and dryer out because that apartment flooded. And then one apartment back going toward my parking garage has flooded. They've been in there. They've been working on that one for the last week, because they're having to completely remodel that apartment. Like I think everything got ruined because they had to get new cabinets and everything, because the girl that lives in that apartment, she hasn't been there, so it's an ordeal. So yeah, he's trying to get over. He's trying to come back from that. But no one's going to forget about that. I want you to know that. Like I know he saw all the memes. Like there's this one meme where I think it's a princess, and there's I think it's a princess, and then there's a girl in a chair, and she has her over the cliff. She has her, and she's rolling her to a cliff, and she pushes her, and it's Texas, and it's Greg Abbott. So we're pushing him, and I said his name. Didn't mean to say his name, but that's his name. and we're pushing him off of the cliff, meaning we're voting him out November of 2022. So yeah, you guys, definitely think about everything that's happened in the last few weeks when you go out there next year to cast your vote for governor of Texas. So on top of that, he's lifting the mask mandate. And on top of that, he is opening the state up 100%. And I don't understand that. Because if you live in Texas, then you know we're having an issue with getting the vaccines out. Like that's the one thing that's top of the news every morning, every afternoon. They're talking about the vaccines. And then if you look at where the vaccines, if you look at where they're having people go for the vaccines, there's always long lines. So people in Texas are not, getting easily vaccinated. So it's just really ridiculous that he's opening this state back up. I feel like the cases are going to go back up again. And then also I know he got vaccinated. That alone should tell you guys something. He doesn't care about his constituents. He does not care. It's all about him at this point. Did that just get lighter? I think it did. But yeah, he only cares about himself and his himself. That's it. Oh, it must be the light from outside. But yeah, that's all it is with him. What else? So now, to go back to the fact that the mask mandate has been lifted, that doesn't, to you Karens out there, so when you guys go places next week, if they say you can't come in without a mask, they have that right. Just because he lifted it, there go a plane. Just because he's lifting the mask mandate doesn't mean that these businesses have lifted their mask mandate. I know that Walmart, Starbucks, Target, it's some other ones. I know for sure. I know those three for sure because those are places that I do go. Those are places that I definitely go. Target and Starbucks, and I definitely go to Walmart. So yeah, those three I know for a fact that you still have to wear a mask. Their employees will wear a mask and they will require you to wear a mask. Now there are certain places that have said, you know what, our employees will still 100% be wearing a mask. But when it comes to the public, they can choose to wear a mask if they want to, or they don't have to, they can wear one if they want to. And if they don't, that's fine. It frightens me. It really does. Because I think, what was it? It wasn't Thursday. It wasn't yesterday because yesterday was Thursday. So it was Wednesday. Wednesday when I went. So I was doing a Postmates and I went to Chick-fil-A, it's a Chick-fil-A. It's actually two. I don't know. They're not that far apart from each other. But I went to a Chick-fil-A to pick up somebody's order. And when I walked into that Chick-fil-A, the only people that had masks on were the staff. And even the people that were sitting down, I didn't, because when you go to a restaurant, I haven't been to a restaurant in the last year, so I don't know what it's like when you go into a restaurant. I do know when I go into restaurants and when I do Uber Eats and Postmates and stuff, I do see people don't have their mask on. Either their mask is up under either their mask is right here, or it's on the table next to them. These people, no mask on the table, no mask under their face, no mask nowhere near them, unless they were in their pockets. It just really frightened the hell out of me. Gotta be honest with you. Frightened the hell out of me. But for me personally, I'm not listening to what Governor Hot Wheels, Governor Match Car, Governor Tonka Truck, I'm not listening to what he has to say. I'm still wearing a mask. Forget what he said. Because he's not a medical expert. So unless a medical expert tells me, now I know that now they're saying we might have to double mask. Now that's a little extra, but I mean, if we have to double mask, I would, if we have to. I kind of hope we don't, but if we have to, I would. So yeah, to everybody who lives in Texas and watches me, I would just implore you guys to do what is best and safe for you. If you guys don't want to wear a mask, cool, but still adhere to the 6 feet social distancing. When you cough, if you have to cough, cover your cough. Like that's one thing I always find is so fucking nasty. And excuse my language, that's something that I always find nasty. When you standing by somebody in a line, like, ugh. If you feel the need, if you feel a cough or a sneeze coming on, do you and me a favor and cover it. Because if you don't, we got a problem. We got a problem. You know, one thing I do hope we continue with, like when you're in a grocery store and stuff, I like having the 6 feet between us in a grocery store. I've always been that person at a grocery store. Like, I don't feel like you should be that close up on me in the beginning, in the first place. Even before the pandemic, I'd never liked people that close to me. Like, you can back up just a little bit. Because even when I'm in the line at a grocery store, pre-pandemic, and somebody's that close to me, I will step to the side. So that way, I will step to the side, move around. So that way, you ain't that close to me, because I just don't like that. But yeah, that's that. Also, I want to discuss, although I don't know too much on this story, I just keep seeing it every day on The View, on the news, this Andrew Cuomo situation. But I know he's saying he's not going to resign. I think he should. Because, I mean, at this point, what is it? 3 women that's come out against him. But it's so funny. You know, because I saw Lindsey Graham the other day have a comment about this situation. Do it the Republican way. The Republican way, huh? You say Lindsey Graham. Well, if I'm not mistaken, there are people in your party, more specifically someone that was at the top, that has so many rape allegations against him. But you guys never said anything. You never really did anything about it. But now there's a Democrat, balls to the wall goes against him. Yeah, when it comes to politics, I really don't like talking about it, because it's just, it's terrible. And, you can never argue with people who support certain people. And you can interpret that however you want to interpret it. You can interpret it whichever way you want to interpret it. But, you can, certain people you can't reason with them, and certain people you can reason with them on certain topics. Like, if I disagree with somebody on something, then they immediately want to come at me you're just a Democrat. And I always say, stop making an ass out of yourself. Stop assuming that I'm a Democrat. I'm not. I don't like the Democrats no more than I like the Republicans. I am a what? An independent. I can find some good in some Republicans, and I can find some good in some Democrats. I don't really, honestly, like I said, I don't care for either one of them. I am in the middle. Also, I know Andrew Cuomo, it might, yeah. On top of those allegations, you got that nursing home situation. So yeah, it might just be time to step down just a little bit. Yeah, definitely might be time. I was gonna talk about the stimulus check, but I'm still confused about what's going on with it. I know it went to the Senate, but then I know that Joe Biden I can't even blame the Republicans. This is some moderate Democrats who's voting against this stimulus, and more specifically about who gets the $1,400. So I think they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna go. If you make $80,000, you won't be able to get it. And I know I saw something about $120,000. I don't know if that was for a family together. I don't know. But I know 80,000 individual. You can't make more than $80,000. I do know that much. That much I did read. Are we getting it or not? It's a tricky situation. That's why I say I don't really care for, Actually, I loved in college and in high school, government was one of my favorite subjects. But when you read stuff, the more you read stuff, And then when you see stuff in real time, I'm glad I didn't go to school for politics, for political science, because it just wouldn't be for me. Couldn't be for me. But yeah, that's it for politics, you guys. Let's move on. All right, you guys. Next up, let's discuss. Have you guys watched The United States versus Billie Holiday on Hulu, starring Andra Day and Trevante Rhodes? Amazing. So it actually came out last Friday, but my Hulu was acting up. Like anytime I would log in, it would not let me do anything. I'm like, okay. So I waited a few days. And then when I was thinking about watching it, I thought about watching it Saturday night, but then I had, Love and Marriage to review. And I was like, okay, we'll do it Sunday. Then I was like, Real Housewives of Atlanta. So it just got pushed and pushed and pushed until I finally watched it yesterday because I didn't have anything to do. So I'm like, let's sit and watch this movie. And it was, I think, about 2 hours and 10 minutes long. Great movie. Also, shout out to, Andra Day. She won the Golden Globe. I forgot what the category was, but she won the Golden Globe. So congratulations to her for her portrayal of Billie Holiday. Great. Her portrayal was so, spot on. Because I was listening to Andra Day, and it's so funny. Andra Day, she said that was her first time acting. And, when Lee Daniels reached out to her, she didn't want the role. She didn't want it, but he got her with his, acting coach and I believe a dialect coach, and they helped her and did a phenomenal job. So then I went and watched an interview of Miss Billie Holiday. Oh my God. Listening to the interview and Andra Day, she nailed it. Like, she did a phenomenal job. Phenomenal. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. When it comes down to the story of Billie Holiday, I didn't know this part of the story. I know her music. Because if you guys don't know, I am someone who I like instruments. So if I hear horns or anything in some music, you got me. Excuse me. Excuse me, you guys. It's not the Rona, but yeah, I love horns. If you guys don't know, I was in band. I played the alto saxophone and I played the clarinet. And I do know how to play the piano just a little bit, not that much. Like, that's one of my goals. And that is one of my goals this year, is to buy myself another saxophone, and I want to buy myself a bass guitar because I want to learn how to play the bass guitar. That is something that I really want to learn how to play. I've always been interested in the bass guitar. But yeah, when it comes down to music, like, I like jazz music. I love the big band era. Let's see. One of my favorite songs to listen to, oh God, I can just sit and listen to this song all day. In a sentimental mood by Duke Ellington and John Coltrane. I can just hear that song in my head right now. Like, I can literally hear that song playing in my head right now. So yeah, I love that. I love the likes of Ella Fitzgerald, Dizzy Gillespie. I love all of them. Huge, like I said, big band era. That's for me. But yeah, so this movie, it's about the song "Strange Fruit" by Billie Holiday, and more specifically, the government and how the government really tried to stonewall her and stop her from singing this song. It's utterly disgusting. And when I started watching the movie, I will say, I know what time period this was set in. It was the 1940s and the 1950s, so I know what time period we're in. But just to hear the use of the word colored and the word nigger coming from white people, it's a little triggering to me. And then it makes me think because I know people from from the 40s and on down. My mom was born in 1940, and then her siblings were all born in that time period as well. So they had to endure that. And then my grandmother was born in the 1920s. I think my big mama was born in 1929. I believe she was born in 29. And then my great grandmother, who I knew as well, my great grandmother Lydia, she was born in 1898. It's just, and I think that was what it was for me. Thinking about my family, thinking about my great grandmother, thinking about my grandma, and thinking about my mom and my aunts and uncles who were all born in the 40s and the 50s and grew up in that time period. It was just jaw-dropping for me because I'm like, wow, they had and my mom has always told me stories about it. She definitely told me the stories about what it was like growing up in those times. Like, because as a kid, as a kid, I didn't really pick up on a lot of stuff. Like when I would be talking about, like when you learn stuff in school, like about Black history, because I always had all my teachers that I had when I was in school, they were African American, and they would, during Black History Month, they would either show us, a film, or they would, just educate us on, our history. And I would go home and talk to my mom about some of the stuff, and I would ask her, is that what it was really like? And she was like, yeah. She could just tell me stories, and it's like, God, the mistreatment of Black people during that time. Like, I just don't understand how you could feel that you're superior to a group of people just because of the color of our skin. You want to look down on me, you want to degrade me because I look different from you. Doesn't make sense. Really doesn't make sense. And then also what really frustrates me sometimes and irritates me and infuriates me even more is when you think about the way white men would treat Black women, especially Black women. You would want to call them a nigger bitch and all of this stuff, but behind closed doors, your penis could insert inside of this Black woman and have a good time, right? So that was one thing that, that's one thing I think about, like, you're so a Black woman is a nigger bitch down here, and you're up here, but when you get behind closed doors, you're level. God, and then the thing that also got me in this film was the way they treated Billie Holiday. So I know that during that time, drugs was running rampant and people were doing drugs, So since they couldn't get her on anything with this song, because she wasn't doing anything, she wasn't hurting anybody, she didn't kill anybody, she wasn't doing anything to anyone, so they couldn't do that. So they were like, well, you know what? She has this drug addiction. Let's get her on that. And then the fact that Jimmy Fletcher, portrayed by Trevante, how a Black man doing everything he can to take down this Black woman, all because she's singing a song about lynching Black people. Like, full well that if you were not who you were, that those same people that you are working for and working with to bring her down could be the same people that could hang you from a tree, burn your body, and burn your home, and put one of those goddamn, like I said, good movie, but just seeing how they treated her. I mean, she was in and out of jail. I'm like, and I was thinking to myself, it's so interesting. They put Billie in jail, but this was just to teach her a lesson to stop singing that damn song. But her counterparts who were on drugs, you guys didn't bother them very much, did you? But this black woman, because she's singing about this stuff, you had an issue with it. You have an issue with it because she's pointing out what you guys are doing, putting it all out there. You know, and also one thing that I was thinking about during this time watching this movie, because if you know, I mean, I know it was segregation, but damn, a black artist is performing in front of a crowd. Now, in front of you, you see nothing but white faces, and then in the rafters is us. I don't know if I could, I just don't know if I would, to be an artist during that time. It took a lot of strength because how can I mean, I'm performing to a sold out crowd, but in front of me, it ain't nothing but a bunch of white people in front of me that look down on me. But oh, you love my but you love my singing. You love what's coming out of my mouth, but you don't love the aesthetic of me. It is what it is, man. But I will say that, with the movie, I definitely, learned a little bit more than I learned a little bit more about Miss Billie Holiday. The cast, like I said, did a great job. Andrew Day did phenomenal. Trevante Rhodes, he did great as well. I know Evan Ross was in there. Had a very small, his role wasn't that big. Tyler James Williams, I believe that's his name, from Everybody Hates Chris. Now that was this one scene that got me, because he was playing when they were on stage and he was playing the saxophone. I'm like, dude, I can tell that you're not really playing. But it wasn't that big of a deal to me. Ms. Lawrence. Now I don't want to misgender Ms. Lawrence, so I'm just gonna keep referring to Ms. Lawrence as Ms. Lawrence. Ms. Lawrence is, phenomenal singer and even great actor. I did not know that because I've never watched Star, so I'm not familiar with Star. So to see Ms. Lawrence in this movie, great job. I wish Hollywood would give more people of the LGBT community acting roles, because you don't have to, they don't have to be typecast, but give more people in the LGBT community a shot. Amazing. But that's it for, I didn't feel like doing a full review for it, so I just decided to put this here, and let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. Next, let's talk about the Verzuz, you guys. Did you guys watch the Verzuz this past Saturday with D'Angelo and friends? I tuned in. I will tell you guys that at first I was a little bit frustrated and upset because it started at they went live at 8 o'clock my time here in Texas. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, 10 minutes in, I'm like, okay, that ain't no big deal. Then 30 minutes in, I'm like, okay, what happened to D'Angelo? And I saw people in the comments asking, like, what's going on? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I know Swiss Beats at one point, he did get in the comments and he said that D'Angelo was in the building, that D'Angelo actually has shown up about a few hours, he showed up earlier. So I'm like, okay, if that's the case, why are we not starting on time? Why are we on CPT time? That was the end. I was like, why are we on CPT time? But I will say though that the DJ, he was playing some hits, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, but I would really much prefer D'Angelo. So about 9 o'clock, that's when D'Angelo finally came out on my time. I'm like, damn, a whole hour later. Why did it take an hour? But it is what it is. But let me know, what did you guys think about the Verzuz? I will say I definitely enjoyed the Verzuz. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. I love, now, like I said in the last week's Hottest Topics, I don't know a full D'Angelo album, but I do know his biggest hits. And man, when I heard Untitled, How Does It Feel? Love that song. Brown Sugar. Oh, that is my shit right there. That is my shit. Actually, like, for about the last few months or so, I've been playing the hell out of Brown Sugar and Lady. Like, those are my two favorite songs. And, you know, it was so funny for me listening to listening to the verses, because I remember when, you know, Brown Sugar and Lady came out. I do remember when those songs came out. I think so. So Lady came out in '96 or '97, one of the two, because I know where I was living at when it came out, and it just, listening to him with the verses, it just took me back to being a kid. And me being a kid, it just reminds me of my mother. And I was like, wow, because I remember, like, Lady. Lady is actually one of my favorite songs by D'Angelo. Like, that is number one for me. Lady is number one. Then you'll get Brown Sugar, and then you'll get Untitled, How Does It Feel? So those are my three favorite songs from him. But Lady is top for me. I don't care what other songs he got. Lady is always gonna be number one for me. So it reminded me of, you know, my mom. And so there was our local radio station at the time. Now in the 90s, we were listening to AM radio, because I don't think in my hometown, FM radio, the first FM radio station that I remember, we didn't know about it until the 2000s. So yeah, for a long time it was AM radio. It was AM radio station, and the station was KZY 690 AM. And so my mom worked during the day, and she would get off of work at, you know, 9 o'clock at night. So she would come and get me from my grandmother's house, and we would go home. Now, as soon as we get in the car, my first thing to do, turn on the radio to see what's playing on the radio. So my love of music has started as a kid. So I would turn on the radio station, and, you know, whatever song, you know, and I knew every song that would be on the station. So, and by the time we got home, I remember one night specifically, it had just started playing, and my mom turned the car off. I'm like, no, don't turn the car off. Like, don't do that. Like, let me listen to the song. And she was like, Jerome, you know this song. You've heard this song so many times. I'm not sitting in the car. I'm going in the house. I'm like, well, just leave the key. I'm like, how about you do this? You leave the car key in the ignition for me. You take the house key off of the key ring, and you go inside. And then I'll follow in behind. There were times that she would do that if it wasn't like super duper dark outside. If it wasn't that dark outside, which most times it was. But I think she maybe did that once or twice, where she would let me sit in the car, and she would just look at me from our the screen door. But if she was going to go in her room, you're not sitting out here. You coming in with me. So, well, yeah, she would either be in the screen door, or she would be if she's on the porch, because my mom was a heavy smoker. Love you, mama. Sorry to put your business out there like that, but love you. But you were a heavy smoker. Yeah, my mom was a heavy smoker. So if she was outside smoking, she would let me sit in the car. Now, if she wasn't outside smoking, or if she wasn't in the screen door, I had to go in the house. And I'm like, come on. So one night in particular, like I said, Lady came on, and she was like, I'm not, you got to come in because I'm ready to go to bed. I'm like, oh. So we had this really huge radio. Well, actually, it was a radio. It was actually a big stereo. So on one side, in the middle, were the controls, where you could control. In the middle, you could control. It's like, it kind of like a little DJ booth set up, but in the middle, you could control it. So you could turn the radio dial, and you could turn the radio dial. You could turn the volume up and down. So on it, you had a cassette player where you could put your cassettes in there, and it also had a thing where you could put your vinyl records on it. So you can control all of that from the center. So, and then on the side, so on one side, like I said, you had the vinyl, where you could put the vinyl. But below that, big subwoofers. So one night I was like, okay, gotta go in the house. Cause like I said, Lady came on and I went inside and I turned that radio on. And I don't know what it is about me. So I have a fascination with traffic. I actually like to watch, as a kid, I don't know if I still do at 31, but I know as a kid, I had a fascination with the traffic that would come up and down the street. So at night and during the day, I would just look at the traffic come down the hill. So this night, I turned the radio on to listen to Lady, and I sat in front of our screen door and I just watched the cars come down the street. I don't know what. As a kid, I was weird, but I still think I'm weird as a 31-year-old man. But yeah, that was it. But you know, like I said, it just brought back some great memories of mostly of my mother. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the Verzuz battle. Did you guys enjoy it? Leave your comments and let's move on to the next topic. All right, you guys. So the next topic we're gonna talk about right quick is the situation with T.I. and Tiny. Now, I've already discussed this whole situation with T.I. and Tiny. You guys remember that the woman from Glam University accused them of very heinous things. I don't want to repeat them, but you know these allegations, and you know that women have come out since then about T.I. and Tiny. Well, you know, with T.I. and Tiny, things just keep going from bad to worse. Ooh. As much as T.I. does get on my nerves at times, you hate to see people lose money and lose business dealings, but you know, these networks and these executives don't want to be affiliated with someone who has terrible allegations against them. You know, drugging, rape. Nobody wants to be associated with that. Excuse me, y'all. So you guys know the first thing that actually happened was the fact that, you know, T.I. and Tiny, Friends and Family Hustle on VH1, that has been postponed. Actually, let me take a look and see if it's still postponed or if they've just gone ahead and canceled it. I hope they don't cancel it because honestly, I really do like the show. It's better with the friends because I like, you know, I really do enjoy watching Monica. I enjoy watching LaToya. Oh, that would be an interesting one, especially, you know, with her and Tommy. Especially with her and Tommy, you know, going through their divorce. So yeah, excuse me, y'all. So yeah, they're still at this point. It's still suspended as of February 5th. So they haven't been canceled, but it's still suspended. Wow. I mean, with them not filming, it's not, and it's at this point, it's not just T.I. and Tiny that's losing money. It is Monica. It's Toya. It's LaToya. Oh, two Toyas. I just thought about it because, like I said, Toya twice, but I forget Toya Wright and LaToya Luckett. Yeah, so it's not just them that's losing money. And then the other day when I was looking on Instagram, I saw that T.I. is losing another deal. So T.I. will not be returning for Ant-Man 3. I'm like, ooh, now that's a big check. I mean, I know his role is small in it, but damn, Marvel checks, that ain't nothing to sneeze at. You know, the one thing I will say, and like I said last night in my Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta review, I side with women unless proven otherwise. So in this situation, I hope that, you know, if T.I. and Tiny did do what they're being accused of, I hope justice is served. If they're not, if they didn't, if the allegations are not true, I hope I hope everything works out for them. I hope everything works out in the way it should. Either way it go, I don't have a dog in this fight. Like I So, like I said, I'm choosing at this point to believe what the women are saying until proven otherwise. So let's move on to the next story, you guys. All right, you guys, and then quickly, I want to talk about some new releases. So, Coming to America 2, that has been released on Amazon Prime as of, was it midnight last night? I don't know. Have you guys watched it yet? I'm going to go ahead and watch it. I just got to download the Amazon Prime app because I actually do have Amazon Prime. I literally always forget about Amazon Prime until I see that $14 charge hit my account. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, damn, $14. And to be quite honest with you guys, I don't even really use Amazon. But it does come in handy when I do order stuff and it comes here the next day or two. So that's why I never really complain about it. It's like $14. I'm like, it's $14 and I mean you get your stuff immediately. So it is what it is. Also, I know Paramount Plus has been released. Now, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Paramount Plus CBS All Access? Because if that's the case, then I've been subscribed to them for years because I watch Big Brother on CBS and I watch their live feeds. But if you guys are a fan of SpongeBob like I am, then the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, I believe that's what it's called, it was released on Paramount Plus, and I think that that's their whole big thing right now, that they're hoping that that'll draw people in. You know what? It'll draw me in for a little bit because I want to see. I've been wanting to see this movie. That actually, the movie was supposed to be released last year, but with COVID, it got postponed so many times. Speaking of movies, what the hell is going on with the Aretha movie? Because that movie was supposed to come out Christmas, wasn't it? Are they ever going to release that movie? I mean, I know they probably wanted to go to theaters, but they might have to do what Billie Holiday did. Because I know that movie is in select. I know certain movies, like, they are in select theaters, but they're on streaming platforms. And you know what's the interesting question is, how do the production companies who are behind, how do the companies who are behind these movies, how do they recoup that money with the streaming services? Because I mean, our people, I don't know how we do it. Like if one person got a password, you give it to at least 5 other friends so that they can use it. Just saying. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that one, that's out. And then also, the season finale of WandaVision was released on Disney Plus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch I'm not that far behind on the series. I actually started watching the series. I was going to review it, but if you guys know me, I don't like to review a show that's at least 4 episodes in. If I'm behind 2 episodes, actually I'll only give it at least 1, maybe 2 at the most, maybe 2. I'll review it. But then I think WandaVision is a limited series. I don't know if it's going to come back for a season 2. I think it's literally just a limited series. And then I know on March 19th, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be released on Disney Plus. I'm going to do my best to review Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So yeah, that is it for the new releases. Like I said, let me know if you guys have watched Coming to America. If you guys want to watch, if you guys are going to watch SpongeBob. If you guys have kids that may watch SpongeBob. Also, let me know if you guys have been watching WandaVision and if you guys will be watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So with that, let's move on to some small talk. All right, you guys, and the small talk is really small. Congratulations are in order to Michael Darby and Ashley Darby. They welcomed their second baby into the world. So Dean is no longer, he wasn't an only child because he got other siblings. But Dean got another, brother or sister to be old with. Jokes, you guys. Dean is actually a handsome little young man, so a little baby. He's cute. I haven't saw this new baby. I just saw the other day that she went into labor. I do think that Real Housewives of Potomac is currently filming. I'm not entirely positive. I know I keep hearing people talk about a new housewife. I don't know anything about the woman. And then, also one of the bigger stories of this week, I just don't want to go too deep into it. The Dr. Seuss Publication. So there are 6 books that they are, no longer going to be producing anymore because of some racist undertones in the books. And then when I saw the books on television, I was like, wait a minute. I'm actually, as a kid, I read all of Dr. Seuss's books. But as a kid, you don't think about anything racist in a book. Wow. I know people are talking about, oh, this is cancel culture. It's not cancel culture when the publication themselves are shelving it. How is that cancel culture? How is that cancel culture? Fox News. All right, you guys. That's gonna wrap it up for me this week. Let me know what you guys think about all the topics that have been discussed. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell button so you guys are aware of when I drop anything else, and share this video. And until the next one, you guys, do me a solid favor. Stay safe. Please take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear your mask, and socially distance. And also go subscribe to the Planner channel. Now, you guys, we try to do this. I do this, every Friday, like clockwork. I try to do this the same time, same place. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which is going to be later. So with WandaVision, I'm probably gonna do an episode 9 review, as well as in that review, just overall sum up the series, how I felt about it. And you guys can expect that either today or tomorrow, which is Saturday. So yeah, be on the lookout for it. It'll be up. And I'll see you guys later on tonight for sure for Bell Collective and Life After Lockup. So I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.